It's time for Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. Live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 930 a.m. The Answer.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 930 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Finch. No Mark Peterson today. He's out of town for a family reunion, so we wish him safe travels. We'll welcome him back next week. But in his place for today, we have the president of the Men's Gardens Club of San Antonio, Alberto Del Rio. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
And there seemed to be a few other guests that he brought along, too.
We brought Mr. Charles Bartlett, which is also the vice president of the Men's Garden Club.
We welcome you both.
And past president, too. And we also have...
He's around, though. He's
okay.
Back there.
Yeah, that's right.
No. And Andrew Waring from the GVST.
Yeah, Andrew's a guest that's been here quite a few times, and he's with the... one of the organizations that both the Men's Garden Club and we work closely with, too.
Yes.
Yeah, so we should have plenty of conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're excited about having the president and vice president of the Men's Garden Club here because of the wonderful history of the Men's Garden Club and all the projects that they've been involved in. Probably if you're a gardener out there in the Central Texas area, you're probably familiar with them. The first thing we need to do them to explain, why do you call it the Men's Garden Club? I've gone to a few of the meetings over the last 30 years, and if I remember right, I've been married 3 times, so I can usually recognize women and... half the membership is women?
Yes, correct. But they didn't want to change the title, and then also there's been many times that people joke about it and saying we should change the title, but due to it being, we've had it for such a long time, being recognized as a Men's Garden Club, they decided to keep it.
And we don't have like in the old days, we don't have any fist fights over it or anything.
No. So for 57 years, it's been like that. So
57.
Wow. We're gonna keep it. Yeah, and like you said, there is more women in there than men. But
and of course they have played leadership roles through the years.
Oh yes, we've had 4 past lady presidents, and so yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a wonderful organization. Alberto and I have worked on a list of, if you were going to talk about the Men's Garden Club, what issues would you cover?
Well, we do a lot of aspects of gardening. We teach pretty much a little bit of everything, and all our members are all professional in their own field, and so we have a little bit of everything. But one thing that
they're not all professional gardeners.
They pretty much are. They're all in their own field, yes.
Well,
and retired.
How are you going to attract young people then?
Well, by having them come in and listen to them. Some of them that come become some of our speakers at some of the meetings, and at the same time, they're present there. So if you want to ask them something, you can and talk to them personally. So that's one thing that's a benefit about coming to the meetings. Yeah, you get to meet in person plus talk to them. Yeah,
you get a speaker every meeting.
Yes, we have a professional speaker that speaks on different aspects of gardening.
Well, the speaking services are wonderful, but my favorite is the newsletter. I can't understand why that is. I think I've been in that newsletter for a few years.
Some bias there.
No, but yeah, it's a great. And I brought up already. Right now is tomato planting time.
It sure is.
And this is interesting that it's kind of a debate because of this heat, and also because of our 2 seasons of tomato growing. So we've got a lot of successful gardeners that are arguing is not a good word, but discussing the alternatives and options in terms of tomatoes right now. Do you pot them up?
Well, you could do that, but also you got to consider that when you pot them up in black pots, it's so hot that the soil pulls apart and the water just tends to just go on the sides. So a lot of the sort of defeats the purpose. I would just put them in the ground and take a chance and maybe put a shade cloth over them to provide some excess protection from the sun from the west.
You notice that I have had to buy 3 new containers.
He does it every weekend.
Tomatoes because I did that. My first batch I potted up, and that wasn't any more successful, so I just planted them directly. But you're right. It's a real challenge right now.
Yeah.
And lots of opportunity. But I kind of predict that it's going to be the same thing we saw in the spring. There was just no performance in the beginning, and we were just kind of losing. Why did we bother?
Yep.
Then suddenly we're overwhelmed by tomato, and our neighbors started locking their fences and they didn't answer their doors because they didn't want any more of those free tomatoes anymore. But now is the time. And the latest Men's Garden Club newsletter has some great, at least three really good articles about tomato growing. And then in my article in the Express News, plus the other newspapers are right for we talk about tomato planting right now and all the winter vegetable planting too. So it's a busy season. It's an exciting season.
And for those who would like to get a hold of that article of the tomatoes, you can go to the Men's Garden Club of SA.org and print out that.
And if you get that and you want to call, you actually can call this show because Alberto and Charles, I believe, are going to be here the whole time, and I'll be here.
Yep.
Alex, what's our phone number?
Well, yes, I forgot to give it at the beginning, but give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
Yeah, if you want to talk about that question, about that topic, the tomato growing or the winter vegetables, but also, of course, one of our main topics, this show is going to be about the history of the Men's Garden Club in San Antonio and all the projects that's involved in, and what are the advantages to belonging? What do you have fun? Do you learn?
Well, we have early in the spring, we have our a lot of our volunteers, our members, we volunteer for the Science Fair, which we've been doing that for 40 years out of the 70 years that it's been going on. And that is the Alamo Regional Science and Engineer Fair, which is held at St. Mary's University. So if you've never gone out there, it's a fun event. There's a lot of middle and high school students that participate in this, and it's interesting to see all these young kids come up with these very bright ideas, and a lot of the military and doctors and a lot of other people go out there and they're judging all these projects. So it's fascinating. Like I said,
you guys let them judge. It seemed to me that through the years you have kind of dominated the.
So we help out in judging, and for the 40 years that we've been doing it, they gave us a plaque this year, which I was shocked to get on behalf of us volunteering for that event. So that's sort of nice.
No, it's not just you supporting them and giving them some awards for their participation. In fact, some scholarships, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we give out a lot of. We give more than $1,000 in awards, and this year we had 10 winners, and so that was sort of nice. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to Mrs. Rose Perez from the Alamo Regional Science and Engineer Fair. She's the one who always calls us and invites us to come and attend and to be volunteers for this event, which is very nice because, like I said, it's nice to see these bright children come up with these great ideas, and of course, they are our future. So
yeah, well, and I don't know if you're still doing it, but I remember when I first came to San Antonio. I think it was when we started the Master Gardeners in 1989, one of the main things that the Men's Garden Club was doing was organizing and supporting the children's garden at the Botanical Garden. It was amazing.
We still do that.
Oh, cool.
And then one thing that we also do now is that we get invited to go ahead and bring our portable children's garden. We bring a collapsible children's garden everywhere we're invited, and we set that up with soil, and we get pots and bring plants for that are either a vegetable or a plant for indoor the house or one for the garden, because we never know what situation the kids are in. Mm-hmm. And so we help them teach them how to put the plant in a 4-inch pot, and they take it home and they have the responsibility of raising that plant. And if it's a vegetable plant, we usually try to give them something that's edible that they can eat, or something that's ornamental, like for inside their house or apartment, or something for the landscape that they can enjoy, that can thrive outside, either sun or shade. So we have a little bit of everything. But all the time that we participate, we get the kids involved. There's a lot of people who are adults that are kid at heart, and so they're just standing there, just looking. And so I was like, okay, do you want to go ahead and pot up something? They're like, yes, can I? And so they go ahead and pot up something too, and so they go home with a plant too.
You were bragging on the expertise of the membership of the Men's Garden Club, men and women in the Men's Garden Club. And one of the questions I have is, I think we would love to the Men's Garden Club has been such an important part of the environmental issues and the fun gardening and the successful gardening and part of our water conservation effort.
Yes.
We would love to get more members. What if you don't have to be an expert, do you?
No, we all start off with brown thumbs, and eventually they start turning green.
And so, but there, you talked about events. You got some really fun events, and I've had a few good meals over in the last 4 to 30 years. Yeah.
One thing I tell everybody, I says, come to the meetings. We start at 6:30, and our members bring plenty of good food, and so we have our speaker that comes on around a little bit after 7, and so we try to stay there till 8:30, and then we got to be out of the building by 9. But yeah, between that, our speakers and our local volunteers and members, there's always somebody that you can go to, and I tell them, hey, I hear that you grow citrus. I have this problem, and what can you do about it? And I myself am a professional landscaper, so everybody comes to me and they bring plants in, like, hey, can you help me identify this? And so I help them identify all these plants, and I never get away from, somebody saying, well, they show me pictures on their phone, like, what's this? And so
I remember a little different history than that. When Alberto and Charles, when I first got to this area, it seemed to me that, I called you guys, and then I had to hand out a check, didn't I, when you helped me get my landscaping, my irrigation, and all put together.
Yeah, we helped Calvin put an irrigation system in.
Still is working wonderfully. But that environmental goals too. I mean, the Men's Garden Club is someplace that you can decide what degree of involvement you want and what issues. You want to have fun. You want to associate with folks that have the same interest in gardening that you do. You want to contribute to the community by helping with the environmental causes that we have. There's just a whole list of things. And work hand in hand with gardening volunteers of South Texas and the Master Gardeners, not just in Bexar County, but all the surrounding counties.
Yep.
So this is an amazing history that we've had. The volunteers in our community with their expertise, their willingness to give us their time. These are all busy, successful people. Well, a lot of them are retired.
Yes.
And but there's a lot of them working in their careers, just like Alberto. And then we also want young people, and we're getting them in the science competitions and the garden, the classroom gardens, and the events at the botanical gardens, the garden there. So lots of opportunity. When are the meetings?
Our meetings are always the first Thursday of the month, and we meet at the Garden Center, the San Antonio Garden Center, there next to the San Antonio Botanical Center. And so we start off at, like I said, at 6:30. We have food there, and then we kick off the meeting at 7. And we always have a different speaker for every different month.
Yeah. Cool.
When you're also talking about professional people, also the master naturalists, a lot of us are master naturalists, and so that's another program that was kicked off. And so Charles and I come from class 1, we're old dinosaurs, and so I think now they're up to 55 or something like that.
Now, Charles looks very old. Were you in the first Master Gardener class, Charles? You were, yeah. Who was? I was trying to think of who was the Master Gardener that used to have a pocket full of the chili patines, and we go to lunch and he'd keep popping them on them.
No.
I can't remember.
Sounds something like Jerry Parsons would do.
I'm old. I forget that. But those are some wonderful memories. And then the other things that we remember are those programs and those issues, and how much they contributed to our success. We continue to have success as a community in terms of conserving water, and without sacrificing a lot. We can do a lot of planting and choose what we want to plant, but we also have we protect our water resources and have rules about using our water resources. And those rules were established by input of all these people we've talked about, including the Men's Garden Club. And so that what makes it, doesn't make it easy to comply, but it makes it an obligation for all of us. We've had input into putting these rules together, and the rules are flexible enough, liberal enough for us to get the gardening done that we need to get done, and have our yards look the way we want them, but also to protect our water resources in the Edwards Aquifer. And we also kind of have to give credit to the elected officials and to the professionals. Speaking of tomorrow, Alberto, I'm trying to. I don't know, Alex. Who will we like the most? Alberto and Charles coming today, or Karen Gus coming tomorrow?
Karen Gus tomorrow.
Karen is another one of those individuals that has been involved in this process from the beginning, and she was, she worked for the San Antonio Water System for the Texas A&M Extension Service, and just recently retired as the Vice President for Conservation at San Antonio Water System. So lots of issues. Do we need a break?
We'll break right now, yes.
Okay.
But yes, give us a call at 210-308-8867.
And they can, any of the topics we covered and you want to go into them deeper, give us a call.
Yes, give us a call. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Just a quick reminder today at Milberger's, South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is out doing a blood drive. They're here from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come on out. You'll receive a $10 gift certificate for anyone offering to donate. And as an added bonus, donors who give will receive a free short sleeve t-shirt and a $25 HEB gift card from South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. So again, they'll be out here until 3 p.m., so come on out.
Yeah, so it's worth it to try. I know back when I was traveling a lot, I got turned down because of where I was traveling, but they've liberalized the blood-giving rules quite a bit for the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so it's worth a check because it's important that we get the blood. There's another shortage of the reservoirs or the supplies. I'm hesitating because I just saw one of our favorite butterflies over there, but it's neat if you give the blood here. You can reserve a time, or you can just come in and they'll find a time for you to give, and so you get the $10 just for offering.
Yes.
And then you get $25 from HEB for
Correct.
if you can give.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of different options in terms of giving, so it's worthwhile.
Yep. Well, one thing I also wanted to say that one thing that the Men's Garden Club also has done is that in 1983 it launched its children's garden. One of our members, Brigadier General Dave Thomas, along with other Men's Garden Club members, launched the children's garden there at the Botanical Center. And up to date, they're still maintaining that. And we still have some of our members that volunteer and help the children down there. And so now you got to reserve the spot. And they have it, I think, twice a year, early in the spring, again in the fall. And then during the summer, they just go ahead and clean up the garden, and whatever's still there growing, they go ahead and maintain it. But one thing that I do like now is that now that the Botanical Center has created a part of the area where they have their educational garden where they can grow all this stuff, they also have culinary chefs that can go ahead and take these fruits that the kids have grown, and they show them how to cook it, and they invite their family with them so they can go ahead and witness all this. And they also have like a contest where they give you
How come we haven't been invited to any of the meals?
I guess because we're not there. But
sure, they've written us off. Us old people. Yeah, back in the old days, we would have been.
Yeah, so the kids get excited when they get to grow something, and then they have these chefs that go ahead and tell them how to cook it. And at one time, there was a contest where they would get awards or like little ribbons for growing the best tomato or eggplant. And so I remember those days. But, it's sort of nice the kids get an inspiration to go ahead and do something like this and then have their parents come out and enjoy what they grew.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, just saying it's nice is understated because through the years, we've participated in research that indicates that young people that participate and learn about gardening do much better in almost everything. They do better in their school. They do better in their social situation. They do better in relationships with parents. And in fact, one of the highlights of when we were doing and I think the Men's Garden Club was involved with us and the Master Gardeners when we were doing the classroom gardens, that we had some schools where they were having trouble getting parents and young parents to participate in the schooling because of the language differences. And so one of the teachers and one of the gardeners just said, well, if it's too bad can't get them in here with the gardening because the parents, even if they didn't speak English, were really excited about gardening and couldn't resist.
Yep.
And gosh, it worked very well.
Yeah.
It's really a addition, a relatively easy way to get to help the kids be more successful with their lives and to contribute to our community and the well-being of our community too. So, yeah, well, thank you for all that.
Oh, no problem. But now that, fall is around the corner, and so one thing that we also do at the Men's Garden Club is we have a show and tell. And so this is where the members get to go ahead and bring in something that they grew. And we have a member that grows a ponderosa lemon. And sometimes those ponderosa lemons can grow as the size of a football, real big. Normally you see them maybe the size of a grapefruit, but if you go ahead and slowly thin them out, you can get them as big as a football. So we had at one time a member that brought it in, and people couldn't believe that ponderosa lemon got that big. But That's one thing nice about the show and tell. You get to brag on what you grow and then bring it in, and so people get fascinated. Like, okay, give me the tips on how to do that. I want to do that, and so they
Is
get
there a plant
encouraged.
exchange too?
Well, yes, we do have a plant exchange, and so we have members that bring plants and seeds, and among all that, or even we all get calendars, too many calendars, or if we have too many pots, people bring that in, and so we get to put that on a table, and somebody takes off with it. So, yeah, and then we do bring a few plants that we do sell, and the money goes to the Men's Garden Club. So, and that helps some of our programs.
Well, another thing, I know your membership. We have this extensive monarch and milkweed program. We've, before 2026, we distributed over 1,000 seeded milkweed plants, and in 2026 we had a number of classes, and we tried something new to trying to collect information about success in germination and in transplanting. It's surprisingly hard to get milkweed to grow in this area, and it surprised a lot of us because where I come from up north, the farmers have spent generations fighting the milkweed, and the milkweed has grown and grown and grown, and here we are now having trouble getting it to get it to grow here, and but that is in fact next week the article in the Express News and in all the other Seguin paper and New Braunfels, Floresville, Pleasanton. So I think there's several others, but we're going to encourage everybody that has their the information from their seedlings that we've provided, and also the germinated the seeds we tried this year. We're trying to just distribute seeds, see if we're more successful if we have stratified seeds.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, the out of all the milkweeds, I have more success with the Zozotes milkweed, and so it comes back every year, and the flowers are very small and tubular, but they're very nice and pretty. So you have to literally get down on your knees in order to see it.
Well, do you get much monarch action?
Well, there's some butterflies on it, but no, not much monarchs. But it's pretty, and so it's one of the few milkweeds that does do well here, that thrives on benign neglect.
Yeah. Well, in the article next week, and of course one of the main topics of discussion is the tropical milkweed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you talk about the Zozotes being relatively easy to get it to germinate and transplant and survive. The tropical milkweed is all those characteristics too. Plus, it seems to be the favorite nesting site for the monarch. Yes. So it's, we've a lot of native plant advocates say, well, we should be eliminating the tropical milkweed
or cutting them back at certain times.
Yeah, well, in fact, I my compromise is you cut it back to the ground on October 1st, so we don't get encouraged late migration. But it is complex because they really, the monarchs really like it, and the queens.
Yeah. Well, one thing I used to always like was one thing quote from Jerry Parsons, like, who's going to cut a milkweed that's in flower? Nobody's going to cut that when it's in flower. They want to enjoy that. So, but, then you have all these people who don't like the milkweed. Like, no, you should cut that. We don't want to encourage them to go ahead and lay their eggs. And then, and I was like, all right.
Do we need another break?
No, we still have
okay, because in fact, we're talking about the monarchs and the milkweeds. And, in fact, there's a bunch of classes that the Men's Garden Club and some of the other organizations that we've been talking about are going to sponsor, so that they can go ahead and maybe Alberto can go ahead and talk about
on the 3rd of October, we're going to have the Monarch Fest, which is going to be at Breckenridge Park, and that's going to be sponsored by Blooming with Birdie and Project Bloom. If you ever been out there, it's a great opportunity to go ahead and bring your kids out, and adults and kids put on their little monarch wings and dress like butterflies, or you'll see every now and then some little fairies. But it's a great event, and we have a lot of educational things that go out where people go ahead and show you what plants you can do and plant, plus the different stages from caterpillar to butterfly, and they have all these games for the kids, and so they have tunnels and mazes where the kids can participate as a butterfly or even as a caterpillar. So it's sort of very educational for both adults and kids, and that again is going to be October 3rd at Breckenridge Park from 9 to 2. The other one, which will be Monarch Fest, is going to be held at Live Oak Village Garden Club. That's going to be on the 17th of October from 10 to 2. I haven't been there, but that sounds interesting. But for those who want to attend, that's going to be over there off of Judson and Topperwine Road, 7302 Sage Oak. So that'll be something to look forward to.
Now we've had, Monica Mickle we've had her on the show, and of course we talked a lot about her books, her 2 books. In fact, I have one in my briefcase. Now, we also had another of the authors, I can't remember her name, on the show too. Plus, we've listed them in our article.
Hold on that. We have a caller real
Okay.
quick. All right, 210-308-8867. We have Charlotte on the line. Charlotte, thank you for calling. How are we doing?
Hi, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong with this here plant. It was given to me at Christmas time. It's a tree. It's a little green tree.
Green tree.
But it's dying, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Well, do you have any more indication what kind of tree it is or anything?
It's in a pot. It was always out with the poinsettias and stuff,
How long is it in the full sun or?
No. At first, I had it in the shade. It's in the shade, but it is so blooming hot out, and I think maybe that's what it is. Or should I bring it in the house, or
I
what?
wouldn't bother bringing it in the house. But any kind of identification? Why did you get it? Did you get somebody give it to you as a gift?
Yeah, it was a gift. It was a gift.
You don't remember what they described it was supposed to accomplish?
I know.
Was it going to have fruit or?
No. There's no fruit. It's like a pine tree, but it's not a pine tree.
Oh.
It's a green tree.
Well, if it's let's see.
It's
how big is the container?
It's
Is it as big as 1 gallon or 5 gallons?
It's about a gallon. It's a gallon.
Oh gosh, yeah, that could be a lot of things. Number one, it sounds like it's a conifer, an evergreen, which is a challenge to begin with, and then in a small container like that.
So put it in a bigger container.
Yeah, and this heat would be so. If you, I would consider a bigger container. See if you can find at least a 5-gallon container. Is it going to live at all? I mean, are all the leaves dead, or has it got some?
There's no leaves. It's just branches with green. There's a bunch of branches, and it's all green, other than kind of on the bottom, it's dying. It's brown.
Well, like Calvin said, I think a lot of plants are suffering with this heat, and the best thing to do is just keep it hydrated. And I would step it up into maybe like a 2-gallon pot just to be on the safe side, and just keep a little tray under it and let it absorb water from the bottom. The tray can be anything that holds a little bit as like a 1/4 of an inch of water, and then let it sap it up. But my experience with potted plants, what I'm doing now is sometimes with this heat, the soil tends to pull away from the pot, and so when you water it, it just comes out from the bottom. So if you can go ahead and if that's the case, I would just add a little bit more soil to it and or repot it, and this way it'll go ahead and get a new life. But I tend to soak my plants. I get a 5-gallon bucket, and I get those plants and I put them in the 5-gallon bucket, and I wait till all the air bubbles come out, and in this way the plants are rejuvenated, and I don't have to water for at least about 3 days. Whereas if I leave them out there, no matter they're in the sun or shade, with this heat, they just tend to go ahead. And if we have windy days, that makes it even worse. But if you do that, try that. Just go ahead and soak that plant in a 5-gallon bucket and wait till all the bubbles come out, and then you won't have to water for at least 2 or 3 days. And if that doesn't perk up the plant, then transplant it into a little bit bigger pot. And I would just keep it where it gets morning sun, afternoon shade.
Where are you close to any nurseries?
No, I don't have a car, and I'm a senior, and I'm trying to figure it out myself. You know, I'm not that good at plants. Really,
it would also be wonderful if you would drag it, and it'd be easy in a small container like that to drag it to like the meeting of the Men's Garden Club, and somebody there would identify it for you.
Yes.
And then that would solve the problem. Or any one of the nurseries, Fanix, Rainbow Gardens, Milberger's, well, any of the nurseries would be happy to identify it for you and then help you come up with a strategy. But if not, then just follow Alberto's advice, and that should. The idea there is to soak that root ball. You don't want that root ball dry.
Okay.
Are you savvy with the smartphone?
You don't want it soggy either. But I like that idea of the 1 to 3 days in between watering, so that it gives it a chance to drain, but also doesn't let it dry out.
Well, the tendency is with a lot of the potted plants right now is that when we water them, only the top surface gets wet and the bottom of the root is very dry. And so I've been noticing that.
I pour it around not on top of the thing, but in the plant.
Yeah.
I give them
that idea
watering.
he had about the if you got a bigger bucket or even some kind of a tray or the little container that you put under a pot, so it can soak up make sure the water gets a chance to get soaked up into the root ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with a lot of my potted plants now. I just have a tray under them and let them soak up the water, and so this way I don't have to water that often. But that's one way of doing it. But if not, try the bucket thing and soak the plant and hope for the best. If not, you might just pot it up into a bigger pot and give it some new soil.
Well, that's what I'll try to do. Okie dokie.
Good luck.
Keep us informed.
Alrighty, thank you. Alrighty, thanks for today. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Charlotte. 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Milberger's having a lot of great sales, but what they also have available here is their selection of grass.
Yeah, and they wanted us the management wanted us to bring up the fact that Milberger still is offering San Augustine, zoysia, and Bermuda grass, but they're not offering it in the small quantities at this point. But they, if you got a need for a big project, you have a professional involved with it, they certainly will come up and get that turf for you. This is not the easiest time to apply turf with this the heat, and I'm hoping we're only a month away from cooler weather.
Well, so they say.
Alberto and Charles are making faces at me about you can be wishful thinking, but don't hesitate if you're got a big project, you got a professional turf applicator involved. Milberger's continues to be a source of those grasses. 4 or 5 different kinds of Augustine grass? And,
yes, 4 or 5 St. Augustine's, 3 different zoysias, and then Bermuda.
Yeah, and the issue now, usually we offer here at Milberger's especially on Fridays, small quantities, but with this heat, just like our gardener that had called in, a 1 gallon container or a few pieces of sod out there in the sun and heat. But if you got a big project, you got a professional team or a team ready for place, this is still a good place to purchase that turf grass.
Well, one thing good about the sod, people got to get a roller and make sure they roll it, because if you don't get that roller and have that contact from the sod to the ground, there's going to be a gap there, and no matter how much water you dry out that sod.
Well, and that's a great point to make, because
you brought that up.
That is the big issue all through the year, even when it's not 100 degrees out. That roller is an essential part.
Yes.
And Milberger's, I believe, if you purchase some turf grass here, will have some of their rollers available too. But you absolutely need access to that. That's part of having a team that is putting your turf grass, preparing the soil and putting the turf grass out there too. Let's see, there was another issue on. What other sale items have we got?
Oh, we have plenty. One that these butterflies that have been flying around that they've been loving are the the lantanas are on sale. And at number 1, regularly $9.99, they're on sale for $7.88.
Well, we've been noticing as we've been sitting here, there's a lot of butterflies that are going to the Nugo lantanas, so that's sort of nice. So if you have your chance, come out here and get them for $7.88. That's a good price.
And of course, the certified butterfly garden here at Milberger's is always kind of fun to examine, because we're thinking we're going to get we just had one fly through, but the monarch should show up in September, and then that becomes the big issue. We mentioned the tropical milkweed, because the tropical milkweed, we do have tropical milkweed here at Milberger's. It's for sale. It's in bloom, looking good over there. A lot of foliage. The monarchs are going to show up. They're going to like that. And the issue is, if they're going to lay eggs in central South Texas, they need to do it early so that the caterpillars and the new generation isn't subject to the bad weather, because it takes at least 30 days to mature, and then if they're trying to fly down to the wintering grounds in October, November, then
in Mexico,
it's really a challenge, and that's one of the reasons why the monarch population is threatened, is because of that migration. So keep that in mind. The target is always to grow some native milkweeds in your backyard, because they drop their leaves. They'll communicate with the monarchs. Too late. You'll have to move on. Just keep migrating. But that, just as Alex mentioned, there's lots of the pollinators. There's lots of the nectar sources, the lantanas and mist flowers, zinnias.
Like Calvin was saying, one thing that's critical for the fall when the monarchs are coming is that if we don't have the milkweed, we can go ahead and make sure we plant and have pollinator plants for them, and any plants that go ahead and provide some food for them. And so some of the things that we could do is put lantanas out for them. We can go ahead and put some skull caps. We got salvias. We have the fall asters, and of course the thing that attracts a lot of butterflies is that blue mist, which a lot of people call that crack for butterflies, because you see a lot of butterflies on it. But if you grow the Greg's blue mist, Yeah, that attracts all kinds of butterflies. And then in the fall, another thing that'll be flowering is our goldenrod. Goldenrod attracts a lot of our butterflies, and Mexican mint marigold.
Yep.
And
that's a wonderful plant because it's deer-proof too.
Yeah, and then also we'll be getting into the time where people will start putting in the dill and fennel and parsley, and those will be all host plants for other butterflies.
The black swallowtails, so love you.
Yeah,
for bringing that up. We hardly ever mention them. This is monarch country here.
Yeah,
you know?
But we ought to consider other things beside monarchs, and so, yeah, I like diversity, and so, yeah. But by doing that, that becomes... and you invite many species of butterflies, not just only monarchs, and so.
That's right. Yeah, and it's an exciting topic. And as Alberto mentioned, there are some real opportunities. We'll probably be offering a whole set of classes next spring again for the monarch and milkweed. But there's this fall, there's some action right in October.
Yes, like I said earlier, we're going to have the Monarch Fest, and the one at Brackenbridge and the other one at Live Oak. And so you can see some of this information if you go on their website. But another thing, too.
Where's the website? The Men's Garden Club?
Yes, we will have that in our newsletter. So if you go to the Men's Garden Club of SA.org, scroll down to, I think, maybe the second page, and we'll have the events, coming events, and we'll put this in our newsletter. So not only will you get information, plus also my number's there. So as president of the Men's Garden Club, you can go ahead and ask me on different things, on advice. I get a lot of people who send me pictures and saying, hey, what's going on with this or that? And so I got this. And so through their smartphone, I get to identify some stuff.
You're welcome. And in fact, next week, my articles in all the newspapers will have the phone number for calling here, so that you can call if you're interested in discussing, and you could call today too, or tomorrow, and we can discuss the butterfly issue. But because all of us are interested in, and almost every gardener is interested in supporting the monarch population and the butterfly population in general. And the articles also talk about differentiating between the queen butterfly and the monarch. They're closely related, but they both only lay their eggs on the milkweed. But I know a lot of people have been saying, well, I had monarchs laying my eggs all summer. No, probably not. A few were out there.
Yes. Yeah. I, too, had the same problem identifying. I was like, oh, look, there's a monarch. And they're like, no, that's not a monarch. That's probably a queen.
Well, then I always make a point of identifying the appendages on the caterpillars. That's one of the easiest way to, the queen butterfly caterpillars have 3 sets of appendages. They're not evenly spaced on their back of the body, but they're 3 sets, whereas the monarch has only got 2 sets. So some gardeners are out there pulling their hair off, say, "What are they? I want to talk about tomatoes. Why are we talking about all these butterflies?" And that is another good topic. Boy, get access to that last Men's Garden Club Hortible newsletter, because there's some great gardeners writing about tomato gardening there. And there's a debate, at least a discussion about what is the most desirable way to try to grow tomatoes when we're faced with 100-degree heat like this, or faced with the challenges of short seasons.
Yep. And we'll talk about that on the second half of our show. But we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
see him because he always gets a big supply of
Welcome back
chili patines.
to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Cowan Finch and Alberto Torrio, the president of the Men's Garden Club of SA, joining us today. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
Remind us, have we got anybody on the phone?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, remind us of some of the sales items that...
Sure thing. A lot of superstars. We talked about the Lantanas on sale. We have Esperanzas, and at number 2, the regular Les.
Blooming Up a Storm.
Blooming Up a Storm. We also have blue plumbagos. They're on sale, regularly $9.99, and a number 1 on sale for $7.88.
Do we still have Pride of Barbados on sale?
Yes, we do.
Gosh, they're blooming nice all around.
They value up to $34.99. They're on sale 10% off, and mine is starting to finally bloom at our house. So.
Well, one thing nice about the Pride of Barbados is that everybody wants one because they see them. They're so tall and they're flowering with this heat, but they start like pretty much almost the beginning, late May, early June, and they keep on going till frost. And so
they got pods now. Some of them do.
Yes, yes. And I tell everybody, once you get them growing, all you need is one, and let it go to seed, and then start it off from seed, and they grow very fast. And so,
well, tell us about what do you do? We've had a lot of questions on.
Well, I don't nick the seed or anything like that, but you can do that. Some people nick it and then they soak it overnight.
Do you harvest the seed when it's mature, or do you get it early? Or?
I tend to. Well, if you wait too late, the capsule will go ahead and open up, and then it would explode, and the seeds are distributed. So it's best to pick it when it's sort of like more brown than green, and then that's when I pick them. And then this way you have the seed inside the capsule before the capsule goes ahead and automatically opens up.
Do you put them in a container, or do you
put them in a brown bag and save them? So this way they don't mold, like if you put them in a plastic bag. But a brown bag would do, and like I said, you can go ahead and nick them with a nail clipper and then soak them overnight. Or you can go out and throw them out in your garden and just let nature take its course and see what happens. Sometimes some seeds will go ahead and be dormant in the ground for up to 2 years before they feel like it's time for them to come up. But I know that once you got them established, they'll be there for a long time, and they tolerate this heat. And so...
they're a pollinator favorite,
yeah,
too.
Between this, that, and the Esperanzas. Esperanzas are the... 2 plants that...
what about Theralis?
The Theralis has done very well, too. And that's another thing I like about Theralis. Theralis tends to be evergreen more than the bird of paradise or the...
that's right. What he's talking about is it tolerates cool weather a little bit better than the others do.
And it is deer resistant, too. So,
yeah,
I've had some where I planted for clients in Hollywood Park, and the deer left it alone. And, in fact, right now... it's flowering a lot. It's been flowering for the past 2 months, and
it's in our neighborhood too. It's one of the dominant.
Yeah, so they have Theralis here at Milberger's on 1 gallons too. So if you have a chance to come out here,
are Theralis still on sale or not?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, they are looking good.
Yes.
Well, regardless if it's not sell or not, they're hard to come by, and they're one of the good landscape plants to push during the summer. And same thing with the firebush. Once you get the firebush put in, those will go ahead and they'll freeze back to the ground, but they're a great source for the hummingbirds. And another plant that I like that they have here is the Mexican honeysuckle. It's a great bush for sun or shade, and you see it in the old neighborhoods like King William area and in Calvin's neighborhood, and they tend to stay semi-evergreen. And from the past 2 months, they've been in flower. So
the deer don't eat them in my neighborhood either.
So for the hummingbirds and for the butterflies, that's a great plant, and they're very drought tolerant once they get established.
I think we brought up we mentioned the fact that we've got a great selection of tomatoes, and it's kind of a challenge right now trying to decide whether you want to pot those things up or plant them directly into the garden. And the three of us maybe have a difference of opinion. I potted some of them up and then planted some in the garden. I had bad luck with both. So I've got some more there. But the wonderful thing was when I lost one of my Amelias and Thunderbird, and I lost the Celebrity. So, but we still had all of them there, and then we got Tycoons, and those our two favorite cherry tomatoes, Ruby Crush and BHN 968. Sweet 100s, if that's your favorite. We have to put up with that because that's Mark's favorite. So,
yeah.
And then let's see, are there any the other varieties? But lots of varieties of tomatoes too. But you got to kind of make a tactic decision. A lot of gardeners made that decision, and I think one of the writers said, "Well, don't pull those spring tomatoes. They're still producing well, and you may as well just put them up." Now, traditionally, if you have if you gather data every single year, you're going to have more production, higher quality production probably if you have both a spring and fall crop. This year, though, might be the year when makes it one of the toughest decisions whether you should pull them. Now, I pulled them. There were no normal years. Might have spider mites too, and then you want to pull them if you got spider mites.
Yep.
But I pulled mine because of those leaf-footed bugs and the stink bugs. Their production of tomatoes is overwhelming, but gosh, when you got to share them with the leaf-footed bugs, I thought it was just easier to start over.
Yes, I've seen that too. Because if you ever get a tomato that's been infected by a leaf-footed stink bug or any of the stink bugs, what they do is they pierce into the tomato and they suck it. At the same time, some of their, I guess you could say,
digestive juices.
Digestive juices stay in there, and they give the fruit almost sort of like a nasty taste to it. So
that's true.
But not only that, but when you look at it physically, you see like little blemishes of yellow in it, and so you know that fruit has been infected. And I was like, no, I prefer not to eat that.
Now, I asked this question before. Have either of you two, Charles or Alberto, tried to use a vacuum collector?
No, but I've heard so much about that, and I'm sort of tempted to go ahead and do that, but I haven't seen anything that you can go ahead and carry over your shoulder and go out there. You have to have an extension cord, and what I've seen is
battery operated?
Not that I know of, but I'm sure if you go on Amazon, they'll probably do have something. Or you go to YouTube and somebody has done their MacGyver vacuum where you can do something like that. But I've seen wet and dry vacs where you can connect it with an extension cord and have some soapy water in the canister and then suck them up early in the morning or late at night. And I've been tempted to do that. So you don't want to do it during the day because they will come out at you and fly over you and stink you with that.
They're very bold. Charles, did you want to say something? You can talk on it. Yeah. Did you? But our growing tomatoes, my experience is I gave up on growing large tomatoes. My experience was that I have too many birds that come into the yard, and all it takes is one bird to pierce a tomato, and then it goes There's
bad.
No such thing as too many birds.
So yeah. I decided to just stick to cherries because cherries never let me down. Cherries always reward me with plenty of fruit, and I can share that with the birds and other critters. And so with cherry tomatoes like the VHN and also Matt's Wild bird tomato and what's the other small cherry tomatoes that we grow? Juliet. And those have always been rewarding. And we grow those in 15-gallon molasses pots or 20-gallon or a whiskey barrel. And we put a cage around them. And we've done very well. But this year...
What do you fertilize them with?
We give them either Osmocote or Miracle Grow or whatever fertilizer we have. Either could be liquid form or it could be in granulated form.
That's good because that's one of the issues on tomato growing.
They're heavy feeders.
Yeah, they're machines. If you want to have maximum production, high quality, you need to have access to the nutrients. It's not like the old days, but 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah. Well, now I see Charles goes out there with mixes up some Miracle Grow and puts it in a 1 gallon. And I see, to me, it looks like a windshield chemical.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, what are you doing to the tomatoes? But it's a fertilizer. But you see the results in the tomatoes. They grow very fast and they're very dark green.
Now, if a gardener is looking for a challenge or an experiment right now, that tomato growing would be one. I suspect, Milberger has a very good selection of tomatoes, but I suspect a lot of our local nurseries also have, Rainbow and Phoenix, and the rest of them also have a good selection. So this is a challenging time, but it's also kind of a fun time to see what you can do and see which varieties.
Yes.
Now, I always find, too, the BHN 968 and the Ruby Crush, they seem to deal with our weather.
Yes.
Even the Tycoon is sometimes, usually it's good at it, but they are the ones that they'll always find a way to produce some fruit and keep producing, even when the weather's challenging.
Well, this year, what we're going to do something different is, since we've been having such an issue with stink bugs, we ordered some fabric, and it's called Ag Fabric Garden Netting, which is lightweight that you can see right through. It's a mesh, and it's a cloth that's durable, polyester or polyethylene, usually white, and it emits 90% of light and will last at least 3 years. It's highly resistant to UV rays and does not get stiff or crack, and resists tear and is rough handling.
Is that like our Grow Web?
Yeah, it's sort of similar to Grow Web,
yeah.
And so you can get that here at Milberger's too. Yeah. And what I would do is we're gonna plant our tomato, and then we're gonna have a cage, and we're gonna put this fabric over the cage, and so we're gonna protect our tomato this year from the stink bugs by doing that.
Now, one of you mentioned was it a lemon or lime variety that got? I was wondering what is your advice concerning protecting our citrus from the cold weather? Do you drag them into the greenhouse, or
if they're in pots, we do. Yes.
A tent.
If they're in the ground, it all depends. Everybody has their opinion. Some people like putting plastic, and some people don't like that. But we do. We use our greenhouse plastic. We recycle it, and we put that over our citrus, and we make sure we have a cage over it. And then we put some heat bulbs under there that provide at least about 150, 250, light bulbs, red bulbs that you can get from Tractor Supplies or Home Depot. But they're heat bulbs.
You don't get the lead bulbs.
No. We get the heat bulbs, and we want bulbs that provide heat, so this way when it gets very cold, it's a supplement. But we do
How
that.
do you deal with the plastic and the heating up? Do you open it up?
Yes. During the day, we open it up. We have an area when we put the plastic over, we have an opening, and we just put some heavy-duty
I guess you
clips.
have to take leave time and stand by your fruit so that you can give it enough attention, huh? So that
with citrus, it's like tomatoes. You're always looking out at them, and at the same time, you're trying to see what stage that they are, and you don't want to keep you avoid having critters going in there. Every now and then, we get some birds trapped in the citrus, and so I was like, okay, we open that thing up, and a bird flies out. So, but no, it's the things you have to do when you want productive on citrus, especially like limes, lemons, pomelos. Oh, it is, yeah, because you grow your own, and it's always tastes different. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we used to have, and I was trying to remember his name, one of the gardeners. He may have been in class 1 even. He used to grow a lot of citrus and other cold-sensitive plants. But he had these neat little tents that he kind of had built and folded up, and he'd put them out every when the winter showed up, and then they'd be open until the cold weather came, and then shut them up. Boy, it was, it was a lot of work at the beginning, but it sure made a difference in the long term on protecting. Because I've been fighting the battle for 25 years on protecting citrus.
Was it Phil Hovey?
No, Phil was the one that I think was the chili patines.
Oh, okay.
But Phil protected his. Phil raised some and sold.
Yes.
Yeah,
he had his own nursery. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think of Phil's name because Phil
Hovey
was at one of those early classes.
Yeah. Well,
maybe it was Phil.
Yeah. Well, there was one of our members. We got invited to go see how they protected their citrus during the winter, and let's put it this way: it was like a giant aviary that they created a frame over their satsuma, and this satsuma was huge. It was a huge satsuma. You can walk in there and literally pick the fruit, and during the summer, they would take the plastic off, and you just see a frame. And during the winter, it would take them a while to put that plastic back on, and they protected that citrus for a long time.
Well, there was at least one gardener that had a swimming pool situation like that.
Oh, yes, I remember the begonia guy.
And we would get talking like this, and his wife would get impatient, and she'd say, "Yeah, it used to be we could use the swimming pool. Now the only ones that get to use it are the limes and the lemons."
Yeah,
because they kept it in you had a building, and they all around the side where the
well, that same guy, he grew lots of begonias, and he had a lot of tropical plants, and he had a greenhouse that he literally used over his pool and grew all his plants in there. So, yeah, that's one way to go ahead and, not worry about protecting, one way of doing it. It's an expensive way of doing it, but if you have the funds, do it.
Well, and we will be talking more about protecting plants in the wintertime. That'll be one of subject that it won't be long.
Nope. Yeah,
we'll be talking about it, how you can do it. You'll have a lot of choices, but it is a challenge, another one of the gardening challenges. But the reward is well worth it, and it's kind of a fun project too.
Yeah, and so you haven't got your tomatoes in, get them in now. Get them if you can get them in 1 gallons, buy them in 1 gallons. That'll be a head start, and put them in the ground and get started. It's not too late.
Well, do we need a break? I don't have my clock in front.
Yeah, it's about time, but yes, we'll take a quick break. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Quick reminder, South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is out. They're still doing their blood drive. It's going on until 3 p.m. Again, even if you attempt to donate, you'll receive a $10 gift certificate here to Milberger's. And as an added bonus, if you are able to donate, you receive a free short sleeve T-shirt and a $25 HEB gift card from South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. So they'll be out here until 3 p.m. today.
Are the T-shirts big enough for chubby people?
They might. I feel like they'll have.
They usually are sizes. Large. They don't hardly have anything for small or medium people. So yeah. But if you got to read Kevin's article in today's paper, he's pushing vegetable gardening for the fall. And right now here at Milberger's, they have a wide selection of co-crops. Starters already that you can go ahead and put into your ground, and in Calvin's article he was talking about starting things from seed. But if you don't want to do that, some of us don't have good luck with planting things from seed. If you have squirrel problems like I do, then sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them. But at least here you have a head start by planting these 6-packs, which is a big variety out here.
Now, and this is going to be another issue about is it too early, or is it just right? And I think you've got some slack, you've got some time, because both I guess September and October are pretty ideal for the winter gardener. And you want to prepare the soil. I always recommend 2 inches of compost entered into the soil, and then 10 cups of 1959 slow-release lawn fertilizer for every 100 square feet of bed in the garden. And so that you prepare, that works for the flower garden, it works for the vegetables, it works for the tomato garden. Doesn't work for the containers. You want to do as Alberto described. You've got several choices for containers, but it's going to be time. You know, it's interesting. Always one of my favorites is the Swiss chard.
Oh yes, you can't go wrong. Yes,
yeah, bright lights Swiss chard.
Well, I grew that for a long time. When my grandmother was alive, I would grow a co-crop garden, and I would just do it just for her because I would take the Swiss chard. I would have leaves that were literally 3 feet long of different colors. And she was like, "Oh my God, mijo, what is that? And where did you grow it? And how did you feed it to get that big?" It's like your co-crops. It's like spinach or the other stuff that you can go ahead and cut it up in pieces and saute it in a pan. And she was like, "It's too beautiful to cut up." But Swiss chard does get big, and if you do give it fertilizer, you can get leaves that are about 3 feet long.
I always find, too, that it stays tasty and mild for a long season.
Yes, yeah.
And but the color, you talk about an attractive planting in a container.
Yes.
Of course, it does take a big container.
Yes. Well, in containers also, I've had it where if you have problems with rabbits, they will find it and then they will eat it down to nothing. I did that this year, and I was like, "What happened to my Swiss chard?" The cottontail rabbit got it, and so.
Another thing for the containers. Well, spinach, we always have to. I don't know if we've got spinach out there yet, but that'll be here soon. But we used to plant spinach by seed, and you'd have to plant it pretty early, but it would probably not germinate at all in this hot soil. I always found it in this central and south Texas better to wait until October, even 1st November for spinach transplants.
Yeah. I think as it starts getting cooler, I think a lot of people are going to go and start putting things more in their vegetable garden. But I think right now it's too hot. They're going to stay. We still got okra. We still got peppers. We still got basil. And eggplant, yes. And so they're going to go ahead and keep that until it peters out, and then they'll start planting their co-crops.
The Mexican squash, too, is producing.
Calabaza? Yeah.
Ton of it.
Yeah.
And I always like to grow that because I have so much trouble with summer squash because of the lace wings there, or the borers.
Yeah.
The stem borers. But doesn't face the Mexican sauce.
Well, we were talking about earlier about growing tomatoes in the ground, and I've always put cherry tomatoes in the ground, and I just give them something to climb on. Well, one time, one of my cherry tomatoes, a bird ate it and deposited the seed on one of my palm trees. I have one of these big date palm trees. Picture a giant pineapple, but it's a palm tree. So this tomato climbed up the trunk and spread all around the foliage, and so each frond is about 8 feet long. People thought I decorated my palm tree with red ornaments. Well, it turned out to be they were cherry tomatoes. And so it was a small Matt's bird tomato, and that thrived all the way till winter got it. And so at the base, we still had watermelons, too, that a bird deposited the seed. We had some two big black diamond watermelons. But it was so cold that when we split it open right before we had the first frost, they still were pink and didn't have much flavor. You literally had to add either sugar or salt.
I certainly will be expecting an article in Men's Garden Club newsletter about growing watermelons and tomatoes on your palm trees. But you know what else that almost the same kind of pattern. Chili patines.
Oh yes.
The birds love them.
Yes.
And they just come. They're all over my yard.
All you need is one plant, and the birds would do you the favor of distributing it. Well, my grandmother was very fond of chili piquin, and so she would eat it like candy. I tell everybody, my grandmother was like a bird. She didn't have any taste buds. She would pop that chili piquin like candy. And so I tried to mimic my grandmother, and I was like, oh my God, I popped it in. Next thing I know, I'm starting to sweat. My tongue is swelling. I was like, oh my God, why doesn't this affect you, Grandma? And she was like, what? You can't take the heat?
Well, what was the gardener, Charles, that we mentioned just a little while ago? Phil Hovey. Yeah, Phil Hovey consumed those chili piquins all the time, too. I would go out to lunch with him, and I'd be distracted because every bite of his lunch, he'd take one out of his vest pocket there and pop it. And I never had any, but I was getting sweaty and hot just watching him eat those. But he didn't miss a bite.
Well, they're very popular with the mockingbirds and cardinals. So
For sure.
One thing for sure is that if you don't eat them, the birds will eat them. And like I said, all you need is one plant because the birds will do you the favor of distributing it. And wherever they distribute it, it happens to be the right place where it grows. So they can grow in the full sun or partial shade. So they're adaptable.
You know, another topic, as long as we're on one of my favorite topics, the birds, that we really got a lot of interest in was when we did the column on bird baths.
Yes.
And we were talking about, if you want to have an environmental impact, you want to help the bird population, and relatively easy, and I never had any trouble with mosquitoes because here if you got a bird bath, especially if it's one of the regular 2-inchers, by the time the day is over, there's no water left. The birds have splashed it all out, or it's evaporated. So you don't have to worry about the mosquitoes. But one of the things that we debated a bit was, I always say, don't put the bird baths any closer than 6 feet to any shrubs, because I always had trouble with cats hiding there and then launching into the other thing. If it's 6 feet, I shouldn't have said 6 inches, 6 feet. If it's 6 feet away, usually the birds have enough room to be able to make a fast getaway if the Cooper's hawks come. I love Cooper's hawks, but they take advantage of. Some of mine sit up there and just wait by the bird bath, Yeah, I'll wait till they get nice and clean and cool, and then I'll go down.
Well, I witnessed a Cooper's hawk come into the bird bath and literally just sit there and wet itself and relax in the water. So it was waiting for the birds to go, and then it landed in there. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen that. It just started bathing like a regular bird in the small bird bath.
Yeah.
So if you have running water to it, running water is the key that attracts a lot of birds.
And the migrating birds recognize that running water.
Yeah.
And I always mention in my article, recirculating mechanism. Mm-hmm. For $30, you can get a really a good recirculating.
It's amazing what you can find on Amazon now. But the key thing is to have recirculating water. The sound of water trickling attracts the birds.
And as long as you got movement of water, that's another
that keeps the mosquitoes away.
Yep.
Yes. Or if it's deep enough, you can have mosquito fish in there, and that'll keep the mosquitoes away too. Well, some of the ponds I have always have a water feature just for the birds at the same time, so I always end up having to fill up the pond back up because I'm not too sure what critters are going in there to cool themselves off in this summer. And a lot of feral cats and dogs jump into the pool just like kids, and they want to cool off, and then next thing I know, the water's pretty much all gone. And so not from evaporation, but from critters going in that are cooling off.
Now, I have... my latest problem, I was going to talk about the hummingbirds coming to the bird baths. That's wonderful to watch them.
Oh, yes.
They like bird baths, and they especially like that running water.
Yes.
And if you go out, you're watering your container plants.
Yes.
Yeah. Quite often you'll have the hummingbirds following you with the hose.
Or that and dragonflies too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I got I have to admit I don't have much affection for her, but I've got a raccoon who takes delight in going and picking up my hummingbird feeders and dragging them onto the roof.
Oh,
Dumping them out. I don't know if she drinks them, but she does. I mean, she spills them out. I think it's a game with her. But,
we have the same problem with the bird suet feeders. She gets them and she takes them all the way up to the canopy of the tree, and I just see them way up there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get it. I'll just go buy me another one for $2 or $3, and that's it. But yeah,
trials and tribulations.
But right now with the heat, sometimes it's good to supplement, give the birds some food. And one thing I always feed the birds is just regular sunflower seed. And so you'll be surprised on what sunflower seed, how many species of birds are attracted to sunflower seed.
Well, all you need to do is have a patch of sunflowers.
Yep, that's true too. And
of course, they'll take over your yard if you're not careful.
Yes.
Just ask me about it this year.
Yeah. Well, I sort of like sunflowers. Some people think they're very weedy, but I like them for wildlife. And there's a lot of small finches that come to them, and after they flower, don't cut them back. Leave them there, and those seed heads will be great seed source for the little finch birds.
But you can, and that also, if you put those seed heads where you want the patch to be, you can kind of limit. And then you pull everything that's not in the patch.
Yep.
Because otherwise they will take over the whole yard.
But sunflowers make great cut flowers too, and so they last at least about 3 or 4 days. So they're a good cut flower. Yeah.
So
same thing with beauty berries.
Lots of exciting and fun things to do, and it's obvious. Of course, we promote the idea of listening to this show,
right, and
also reading my columns and the Express News and New Braunfels and Floresville and all, and Pleasanton, all the places that we're right. But also we talk about participating in the Men's Garden Club, because you'll get access to all these ideas and folks that have exciting concepts and experiences, and then you also have an opportunity to contribute to your community and to a solid environmental situation, including to water conservation.
Oh, exactly. If you go to the Men's Garden Club of SA.org, we have a lot of archives of different articles pertaining to gardening, and also all the events that we talked about today will be on there for our next newsletter for coming events. So that gives you an opportunity to see who we are, what we do, and to get involved.
Okay, so Alex, if you got any, Milberger's issues, we want to remind everybody about the turf grass.
Yes.
If you got big turf grass projects, don't forget that Milberger still is providing the sod.
Yes.
What kind of sod we got there?
They have 5 different types of St. Augustine, 3 zoysias, and one Bermuda.
Now, for a short time, we won't have the usual Saturday, a few small patches, but if you've got a big project and a professional crew or organized crew that wants to put some turf out there, Milberger's will get you that sod. And then the other thing is we still have this sale items.
Yes, we do.
The greenhouse is everything in the greenhouse still for sale?
Greenhouse, yes. All the indoor plants are on sale, 15% off. They're starting at $4.99.
And you have plumbago for sale too?
Plumbagos, yes. Blue plumbagos are on sale. Regularly $9.99, and number 1, they're on sale for $7.88.
Well, there's some out here that are beautiful flowers, and if you ever have blue plumbago established in your garden, that's one of the few things that survives through our heat and can tolerate the shade and does very well. Everywhere I go, I see the blue plumbago thriving in our area. So if you haven't got one, come out to Milberger's where you still have a good chance, and there's a lot of them with lots of flowers on them.
Sure is. And if you want to give us a call, we're going to take one last break after this. 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas.
And then Alberto has got some other events he's going to let you all know about.
And we'll let them know about that as well. We'll be right back. Welcome Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
So what about if anybody has any questions about the sales at Milberger's and the availability of turf grass and other issues, they can go to our website?
Yes, they can go to the Milberger's website, milbergernursery.com. There you can see the sales they have going on, events coming up, such as the blood drive today. I think there's another blood drive coming up beginning of September.
They still got some time to do the blood drive today?
Absolutely, yes. It's going on until 3 o'clock today. So if you come in, attempt to donate, you'll receive a $10 gift certificate to Milberger's. If you are able to donate, you'll receive a bonus free short sleeve t-shirt and a $25 HEB gift card from South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. So again, the blood drive's going on until 3 p.m. today, so you still have some time after the show to come on out.
And then, Alberto, you had some issues that you wanted to tell folks about events?
Oh, well, I could go ahead and some of the events, like I'll put it on our newsletter, and you can go to the Men's Garden Club of SA.org, and we'll have all those events on there. But for those who think, oh, it's so hot right now and you don't know what to plant, come to Milberger's, and they have tables of lots of Cora Vinca out here in many colors. For previous gardeners like me, I've had some Cora Vinca that went ahead and overwintered, and they came up in the brick pathways and from their own roots, plus also a lot of volunteers.
What a switch. It wasn't too long ago and you couldn't even spill a little water or rain on them and they would just decompose, crumble. Yeah. Now they're going strong.
Well, with this heat, you would think that they will wilt and all that, but the ones I have are in full sun and they're getting reflected heat from the sidewalk and the bricks, and they're thriving and they're doing very well.
And they're on sale here at Milberger's?
I didn't see them this week.
Oh.
They usually have been these past few weeks.
Well, even though they're not on sale, they have a wide selection of colors, and so it's not too late to get them in, and they will overwinter if they have a protected area, and they will reseed themselves. So
now, well, write that down. That's Alberto Del Rio that is making this claim about them overwintering.
Well, that's because they had some leaves.
I will claim the deer won't eat them, but
that's true too. I planted some in Hollywood Park for a client of mine, and they've done very well. But in my situation, they're in a brick pathway. We left some leaves on there, and they overwinter from their own roots. So I was shocked to see that these mature plants have now come up and they're thriving in this heat.
What is your favorite color there?
I sort of go for the fuchsia colors. I like the fuchsia and the pinks, but the ones I like at night are the white ones with red dot, because on the pathway it's so dark and those white vincas stand out. So if you want to illuminate your pathway without putting a night light, plant anything that flowers white at night, and those vinca, the Cora Vincas.
Oh, and the blooms are big. And,
yes.
And you can get you don't need the one with the red.
No, it could be solid
pure white.
Yes, they have the pure white, or it has a yellow dot in the middle, or the red. But yeah, any of those will go ahead and illuminate your pathway, and they're very drought tolerant, and they tolerate this heat. So I see over there also they have zinnias and I think a few marigolds. Well, something that looks like marigolds, but some salvias are still flowering out here. Oh, speaking of salvias, one thing I've always liked for the hummingbirds that's a great perennial too is they call it the tropical sage.
Coccinea, yeah.
Salvia coccinea, yes. That's one of my favorites, because all you need is one plant, and it'll reseed itself, and it'll come up in different places. And it's
red flowers?
Yes, it comes in red, white, pink, and salmon. So it's a good, reliable perennial. It can tolerate full sun or shade. But that's a great one for the hummingbirds.
I don't think they're on sale now, but we got a lot of selections of.
But here they have a great variety of salvias here, so yes. Yeah.
And then we do have tropical milkweed that are in bloom.
Yes.
And they will, when the monarchs get here, if you got those tropical milkweed, at very least they'll seek out that nectar. They love that nectar. But the foliage is pretty lush too, and they'll be tempted to lay eggs. And it's debate if if they lay the eggs before October 1st, then they've got a good chance of surviving, maturing, and making the trip to Mexico City. But after that, it's going to be quite a challenge. So think about that. And if you want to think about that issue, go to any of the books or questions, research on the monarchs and their migration, and look that up. Monica Mickle's book talk about the tropical milkweed and the challenge there, and the debate between researchers and native plant advocates. Another topic that makes the monarch issue very fascinating, but also challenging.
Yes. Well, there's always a debate with milkweeds, and so whether to or just go with the native ones. I always think, it's nature will find its way, and only the strong will survive. And so,
what a savage!
Well, in nature, that's how nature is, and so we can either help them or we can nourish them, and we can help them out a little bit, but that's how things go.
Well, we did see. We had queens come through, and we've had a lot of the longtails.
Oh, yeah, long-tailed skippers are something different. You ever see the butterfly that has a long tail, a very long one? It's very something interesting.
And we haven't seen, I didn't see any red admiral's day. We saw some large sulfurs. Which sulfur was that, do you think?
I'm not sure, but to me, they're all sort of a yellowish color.
Yeah, and, this was a bright yellow.
Yeah.
It looked pretty clear.
Yes.
But I didn't see any of the orange streaks in it.
We still have a lot of skippers out there, and a lot of swallowtails, the tiger swallowtails, and then we have the black swallowtails. And
there is Mary on the Milberger staff over there who manages the certified butterfly garden, and that's always a fun place to come.
Yeah, so if you come out here, you can talk to her, and then she'll go ahead and lead you to all the plants that you can put out in your own garden that will attract the butterflies.
There's the butterfly vine out there over there at the certified butterfly garden.
Yeah, that's another great thing too. The butterfly vine, it stays evergreen, and it has yellow flowers that flowers from spring all the way through summer, and it tends to stay evergreen, and that's very drought tolerant once it's established.
What have we seen? Hi, Mary. Have we seen anything exciting in terms of butterfly? We had a list. We were trying to figure out which sulfur that was that we saw. Very big and very clear.
Very clear?
Yeah. I didn't see any orange streaks or any dots on it or anything, but
maybe a dog face?
Maybe. I don't know. I've got my little
pamphlet,
but I wasn't able to. Of course, they always move so fast that it's hard to.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes to get a good close look.
I wanted to get a progress report. We haven't seen any monarchs yet, have we?
No monarchs. Just starting to see queens and Gulf fritillaries.
Yeah. Oh, you saw. I haven't seen it, and we didn't see any Gulf fritillaries today. Do you know Alberto, president of the Men's Garden Club?
Hello,
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
On the Gulf fritillaries, one thing I've seen a lot of them because I have the passion vine, the purple incense growing on the fence, and it's taken over all the 8-foot fence and at least about 20 feet on each side. And every time I go there, they're all in flower, big purple flowers, and the Gulf fritillaries everywhere. And if you ever see the larva stage of the Gulf fritillary, it's sort of orange and black. You look at it, it looks like an alien and eating the leaves. And so my grandmother had that growing on her fence, and I was like, Grandma, what are you doing? She goes, I'm killing these little bugs. I'm like, Grandma, don't kill them. Those are going to turn into that orange butterfly over there. She goes, I don't care. They're eating my plant.
Is that better than having a caterpillar that looks like bird poop?
Well, no, those are nice because the bird poop is the one that turns into our tiger swallowtail.
Giant swallowtail.
Our giant swallowtail, yes. And so usually those are host plants in the citrus family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ever have an opportunity to see a bird crab that's alive and moving, yeah.
Oh, we get calls every year from that. You're not going to believe this, it's they're caterpillar. But the good news is that they don't usually lay a lot of eggs. So that you can usually afford to let them have share some foliage with you.
Yes.
It's not like your black swallowtail on the
The thing beside butterflies that a lot of people get fascinated. They see something that looks like a hummingbird, but it's not a hummingbird. It's a sphinx moth that's flying around during the day. And I was like, I thought that only came out at night. No, there's many of them that come out during the day too.
We see them in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's host plants out here that you can. The the angel's trumpet plant is a host plant to the sphinx moth, and so is also the beautyberry and tomatoes. Of course, people always kill these tomato hornworms. Well, if you look into what a tomato hornworm turns into, it is a sphinx moth. So if you like sphinx moths, if you like these moths that look like hummingbirds flying around, don't kill them. Go ahead and plant more than one tomato, so one for you and one for them. And so that's what I do.
Mary, you want to add anything else about what's your expectations on the certified butterfly garden? When do you think we'll get some monarchs?
Oh gosh, definitely by October.
Yeah, you don't think we'll get any in September?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention last year.
Now we did find one thing that was amazing. We had monarchs lay their eggs and successfully raise caterpillars on the butterfly weed, which was unusual. Because our Gaeta Jilski and she wrote the butterfly book, that she said that she'd never seen them successfully raise caterpillars on the butterfly weed, but we certainly did this. We saw at least one family there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So we should have. You did take pictures of it, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I was thinking we should have got tattoos. So we saw the monarch on butterfly weed. Yeah. So.
Well, I think now there's a lot of education going on where people are raising monarchs in these little cages. They look like little nets, and they release them, and so a lot of teachers are doing this for experiments during the summer and for the kids and other parts of the year.
Oh, well, next time you come, we'll have to see if we can get our teacher, Lulu, to come in there. She has got some fascinating stories in action. Well, she and her students were watching wasps consume caterpillars, and
I've seen that done before too. I had one of those army tent caterpillars on my glove, and then all of a sudden when I was about to brush it off, a wasp comes out and grabs it, and I have literally seen it eat it. And so I got my camera, took pictures of it. I was like, wow, that's the first time I ever see that. But that was interesting to see. I was like, just please don't sting me.
Yeah, it's true. Alberto, we're inside a minute of our show. Is there anything you want to share or
No, the only thing now at the heat of the summer is mulch your beds and keep everything well watered, and
attend if you want a new experience and something that's exciting in gardening and important to the community. Visit at least one meeting of the San Antonio Men's Garden Club.
Yeah, we meet the first Thursday of every month at the San Antonio Garden Center, and
men and women.
Yes,
men and women. We
have more women than men, and so all are welcome. And so come there. If not, go to our website, mensgardenclubofsa.org, and you can go ahead and see our archives and get more information.
A long history.
Yes.
We thank you for coming out today. We appreciate it.
This was delightful. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We're going to be back tomorrow with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.